Here we are in the package room, as always.
Give an inch and you take a mile. Hope someday that I'll see you smile again. Don't wanna wait till the summer's end. When we met, it was make-believe. You were better than even I can see. Now that you're gone, there's no reprieve. A desire beyond control. Gave you my heart, you took my soul. I need you back to make me whole again. Will this odyssey ever end? When we kissed down by the lake, it was my life you did take away. You're gone, but the feeling stays. You give an inch and you take a mile. Since you left, my heart's been on trial. I have to admit, I'm in denial. A desire beyond control. Gave you my heart, you took my soul. I need you back to make me whole again. Will this odyssey ever end? I gave an inch and you took a mile. I know it's gonna be a while. Just gotta wait till the summer's end. I gave you an inch and you took a mile. I know I'm gonna see you smile. Just gotta wait till the summer's end. See your face again. Just gotta wait till the summer's end.
All right, ladies and gentlemen, that was the sounds of Derek Marshall and the 27 Club. We are here now. It is St. Patrick's Day. That's right. Hello, Steffi Ann. Hello, Andy Cruz. Hello, Bend Over. Good to see you all. Bend Over says, let's talk Jesse Lee Peterson. Well, isn't that amazing? Now, it's interesting you say that because I actually was planning to. Good to see you, Tiff Mafia and Tony Macaroni. Yeah, we are going to check out some stuff with Jesse Lee Peterson. I don't know if you read my mind or what, but have some stuff with him to look into. He was on Roseanne Barr's show. I'm sure you know who Roseanne is. She's a host of a show that you've seen many times. Roseanne, of course, is the name of the show, and it's amazing. All right. So let's check it out here. All right. He's on Roseanne's show. So let's go to 23 minutes in here. And honestly, I would recommend you check out the whole thing, but just want to show this to you because it's weird that Jesse can be so morally wrong and so spiritually centered. It really makes no sense. He could almost be Jesus like, but he's going to have to sort out his morals a bit. So let's take a listen.
I want to see how he handles or, what he does. And it was pretty amazing to watch you because you weren't angry at all,
right,
but you were dangerously assertive. You were, it was a whole other thing. You said you were like kind of king-like, but your attitude was anyway. But you said, are you saying that I, as a black man, can't stand here? Is that what you're saying?
I remember that, yeah.
And, she had never heard.
Right.
She had never heard that.
Right.
She was white. She had never heard that in that tone.
Yeah.
And it was very powerful.
So he's very powerful, but it sounds like Jesse is expressing some anger because he says you cannot express anger. So I don't know. I think she caught him in a little moment of not being as amazing as he claims to be. But I'm glad that she got this interview. I'm glad she found him. It's got to be a little difficult to do that. I got to get that special red bar clip jumper thing that he has. I need somebody to code me to have that. So Steffi Ann says anger is natural. That is true, but in Jesse Lee Peterson's teaching, he specifically says if you have anger, you are beta. So she was just catching him in a bit of a contradiction there. So you're not wrong, but if he is going to get angry, maybe he should not be telling people that anger is beta. He probably would call it something else, like he took offense or something. All right, let's take a look at 2533 here.
When you're not angry. Because
when you're angry, you want to win, right?
Right.
You want to destroy the other person and be right and win.
Absolutely.
There can't be no, what do you call it, where it's all resolved and everything's okay.
Right. That's right. But when you don't have the anger, you're not trying to win. You're really just being you. You're just being yourself. And you're allowing the truth to work on your behalf. You're not at war with that person at all. You mentioned the good versus evil, right? So the spirit of good is working through you to deal with the spirit of evil inside the person. The person might not realize, but that's what's going on. You got to drop that anger. I do a lot of counseling.
All right. So Jesse is saying basically that, if your goal is to have perfect peace, you need to drop your anger. But if your goal is to be a top performer like Michael Jordan, you probably do want to keep some of that anger. So, it really depends what you are going for. Let's move forward a bit. Yeah, I think that let's go on to 2915 here because there's a lot of, anger is hard to drop. Trust me, I know. I've gotten in fights with people, arguments with people about all kinds of shit.
And then one day, Eve was at the grocery store. She went over to the market.
Mm-hmm.
She wanted some candy yams and collard greens for dinner.
Right.
Okra. You ever had okra?
Yeah.
Oh my God. I remember when I was in Alabama, my grandmother used to make okra and collard greens and cornbread. I used to eat it with my hand. I would mash it all up together with the cornbread. Oh, I can taste it now. But anyway, so Eve was at the market, and long story short, she saw
Roseanne's like, yeah, hell yeah, Jesse. We might be white and black, but we both get along on food.
Saying that to Mark. And he was like, hey, Eve, how you doing? He was like, I'm doing fine. How's your husband? Oh, he fine. And so he was like, why you listen to that man? You can be your own woman. Don't listen to him. And then she's like,
you're talking about the snake?
Yeah.
So he's at the grocery store too?
Yeah.
Okay. I just want to follow this.
You're
okay.
Like, what the fuck? You're talking about snakes at the grocery store, Jess? Am I sure I'm following this guy right?
You saw him at the grocery store.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah. And she was like, get away from me. I love my husband. I'm going to obey my husband. And
So how did that not set off a red flag? Obey your husband. Obey?
He was like, no, you can be free too. You can be like a man if you want, right? So she went home and told Adam.
So yeah, I think she was just listening. She's like, oh yeah. Okay, totally. Let me just pretend I get what this guy is saying. Yeah, it totally makes sense. I think that it's just a little bit like, you get it, but do you really get it?
And men end up marrying their mama. Every woman they get involved with has the same spirit as their mother because you're attracted to what you hate. And so the cycle goes on from generation to generation until somebody decides, you know what?
Well, don't men hate? I think men don't like their mom.
They hate their mother.
Well, they have every right to in some ways because their mom's a violent, crazy,
absolutely
B word.
She recreates them in her image.
So, all right. So is Roseanne saying that she's a violent, crazy B word? Because listen to what she's saying.
I mean, these women are just horrible to their kids.
Yeah.
These days, it seems
they have no love. On my show, you should hear some of the stories that I get from people when they call the show.
I do hear
about what their mothers are doing to them, and then but they have played.
Yeah, I mean, she's a mother, and she's saying mothers are B words. So I don't know.
The greatest secret on earth is that the evil is coming through the woman, but they make you think it's coming through the man, and it's not. And so, and these women, they do cry. They cry. I have a T-shirt now, a brand new T-shirt. It says, "When she's crying, she's lying."
You hear that?
That's so good.
I mean,
how can any woman listen to that, hearing a guy say when she's crying, she's lying, and think that yeah, right on, Jesse. Us women are too emotional. So what do you guys think? Is this this is like Hitler interviewing Rosa Parks. Yeah. Cool boy in the house. Yeah, we're just there was no snakes for sale. Yeah, I don't know what the fuck that is all about. But good to see you, Shaman. It's amazing with Jesse Lee Peterson. All right, let's take a look here. Roseanne is going to describe the need to be liked that many performers struggle with.
And most people don't want it. So that's why
I guess I wanted I wanted them to like me.
Yeah.
But they never did.
Right. Because they have no love.
Yeah. I always would pick out people who didn't like me and then tried to entertain, not like show business entertain, but try to entertain them enough to like me.
Yeah.
And they never did.
Right.
They hate me more and more.
That's why we shouldn't think about people liking us or not. I can care 2 cents who like me. As a matter of fact, I don't even think about who like me or don't. It doesn't even occur to me. I just know that I love all. I don't hate anyone else, so I love all people, and God loved me, and because I have love, I'm not looking for love, so I don't need to be liked.
So Jesse would be would not ever really feel the need to become a stand-up comedian because he's already likes himself.
So I can be myself, and that's what's going to happen when you forgive. You're going to have love. You're going to be of love.
Yeah.
And
Well,
if
I
you
mean, it
of
did.
that, you don't need it.
So does that mean that the worst thing you could do to become a good stand-up comedian is to forgive people? Because that's what it sure sounds like. All right, let's jump forward a little bit. We're back. Okay. And here we're going to look at how Jesse Lee Peterson is an expert on religion, but he doesn't know that the Torah is the Old Testament. Seems like Jews know everything about Christians, but Christians know nothing about Jews.
Right.
That's all that matters.
Absolutely. You sent me a video,
Mm-hmm.
and it was so interesting.
I'm glad you liked it.
I loved it because I don't know a lot about the Torah and all that.
Well, it's the Bible.
Yeah,
Right.
you know a lot about it.
I do.
You know, yeah, it's Genesis
That's the
and
Bible,
all that.
Oh,
Yeah, 5 books
Yeah.
of Moses.
the Old
that's
Testament.
Torah.
Noah, Adam and
oh,
Eve.
that is the Torah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What a mess!
What
didn't
a
know
mess!
that?
Amazing.
Yeah.
You didn't know
Amazing.
that?
I think I've heard it, but I really
that's
didn't
the
put it
Bible.
together.
That's
Yes,
the Bible.
books of Moses. 5
Yeah.
books of Moses.
That's
So why
Adam
don't
and
you-
Eve, all that.
Why don't y'all call it the Bible instead of the Torah?
Oh, everybody calls it the
It's a
Bible,
translation.
Oh, okay.
but it's a
What a mess. Instead of saying, I'm stupid, he says, what a mess. Oh, my God. All right. So, it seems like they kind of get along. They kind of they get along and they don't. They just kind of doing their thing. They definitely don't despise each other, or they don't seem to. If she does, it's a very subdued
a flip.
expression of such. Now here she is kind of calling Jesse a troll without directly saying it.
Result.
Yeah.
And you, whatever you do, they lose the minute they get angry, but you do know how to provoke people to anger.
But I don't try to.
Okay.
I'm not really. I really, really, really want. Well, I want it, but if they don't want it, fine. I wish people would come out of their hell and they would have perfect peace right here on earth. I wish that they would pay attention to themselves, see what's going on here, question things. Most people don't even question things. And I wish that for them. And so I bring up questions or I make comments. And they say, I had a woman on. Next thing I know, they check. They want to run off the show. They want to call me names. I have the Coon Train Award.
The Coon Train. Wow. He always fucking catches people off guard with some ridiculous shit that he says. How did Jesse not know this? Not amazing. I know, right? He's yeah, he's a hell of a guy. He really, the shit he knows and the shit he doesn't know will surprise you. By the way, is my volume good? I actually don't know how to adjust that. But let's keep going. Let's keep going. All right. Yeah, so she was just kind of talking about how he lets people say some crazy shit.
I want the Coon Train.
It's so horrible.
What, the Coon Train?
I mean that they say those things to you.
Yeah.
After they or not take that for 1 second. But they do that to me too.
Of course. Yeah, I know.
Yeah.
They do. But I had a woman on my show the other day. She's supposed to be a big time CEO.
Yeah.
She's supposed to be.
I thought he was going to say a big time CUNT for some reason. The way he set that up. She's a big time CEO. Yeah, but Jesse kind of showed the secret to his success right there. Like, he lets people say the most insulting stuff to his face and then just incorporates it into his on-air material instead of getting offended by it. You know, that's the way to do it. Just let people call you crazy shit and then you can laugh about it later. All right, let's jump forward a little bit. Where Jesse's going to talk to this woman about gender. Was it 101, 10040? Yeah, now I totally get why Red Bar has that tool. I wish I could license it from him for a few dollars. All right, here we go.
I'm like, okay, sue me. You signed an agreement we were going to do the show together. I didn't ask you anything personal, anything crazy.
What set her off?
Oh.
That you like Trump?
Well, that didn't help either, believe me. But what set her off was when I asked her if she found it weird that women were not created to lead, but to created to follow.
Oh, I saw that.
Oh. And you weren't trying to provoke her, honestly?
Not at all.
Okay.
And I asked, do you find it weird that women were created to follow and not lead? So do you find it weird that men would listen to you?
All right. So Jesse is the type of guy who's going to tell a woman her gender is worthless and then wonder why she's mad at him. Do you find it weird that you are made to follow? I don't know. I think he knows what he's doing.
Are you talking about?
Oh no, I've known many sane, rational women.
Are they all dead now?
Were they transgender?
Doesn't it sound like she just set Jesse up just to tell a joke there? Like she was just like planning that whole thing. Look how he just naturally jumps in with a joke.
What in the world are you talking about?
Oh no, I've known many sane, rational women.
Are they all dead now?
Man, he was ready right away with that one. All right. So what do you think, folks? Is he kind of like what Roseanne's pronouns Hitler, she, not German? What up, Betty? What up, Luke Combs? How do you feel about this amazing guy right here? Isn't he amazing? Let's see. I want to go to this. There's kind of a interesting question here. Interesting choice of a question that Jesse picks out here.
Yeah. And then the Great White Hope. Amazing.
Mm-hmm.
I can feel it in the air. What do you think about the word bitch?
I love it.
Oh, good.
You know what I say? Bitches get stuff done. You know, we get stuff done. See?
Oh, yeah. See that?
But I mean, everybody always
I
called
thought
me
the
that
bitch was
since I
white. I think Jesse was prepared for her to be pissed, by the way.
came to Hollywood. But they were talking about men. So, you know, people do have their whatever, their prejudice thought or whatever.
About
But when I
bitches.
came here, they were talking about men comic. Oh, he is such a forward thinker. He's got his vision. And me is like, she's a big bitch.
Yeah.
They did.
I didn't even know that the bitch word was a bad word. I did not know that. I didn't know it was like a curse word, right? Because when I was growing up, I used to hear the older women and men, if a woman were acting angry and out of control, they were saying that she was acting like a wet dog, I believe.
A wet
And so they were
dog.
saying, look at that bitch. Why that bitch is acting like an angry female dog, right? So I never knew.
So he didn't put it together that it was a bad word, even though they were saying, look at her. Did he think it was a good thing?
It was a bad word until I started doing my show. And these guys, Anchor Baby and others would say, that's a bad word. I'm like, no, it's not.
No, I never thought it was a bad word.
I never knew it was a bad word.
She never thought it was a bad word. All right, well, it depends what we're talking about here, right? Like, regardless, it's an interesting question from Jesse. But bad can have different levels, right? Now, is it the N word to women? I would have to have a woman's opinion on that. Because I definitely think some women treat it like it's like nothing, and some women treat it like it's the worst thing in the world. Although some black people do the same thing with the N word. They don't care at all, and some think it's the equivalent to throwing a fist. So words are not the same for all people. Nonetheless, let's move on to. But what I would say is, don't just go yelling bitch and not expecting consequences. I made that mistake at an open mic before. Called a heckler a bitch, and the bartender got very mad. Yes, I was allowed to say it, and yes, she did get angry. Both of those things happened. All right, let's take a look here.
Just a word.
But words to define women and their craze. Like what the truest thing I think I ever heard about men and women was all men are dumb and all women are crazy.
That's for sure. That's the truth. That is the truth.
How are we gonna fix it?
But that's an old George Carlin bit. All men are dumb and all women are crazy, and all women are crazy because all men are dumb. That was his old joke. Let's say 109.29.
Hey, what's wrong with me?
What's wrong with me? There we go.
Troll me. I'm afraid to speak up. I remember I had so much fear that whenever I would try to speak up, I would say, this time, I'm just going to speak up. And the words would come all the way up, and they would lock in my throat.
Really?
And I couldn't bring it out.
Wow.
I would come out beta because I didn't know how to deal with the person's reaction to what I was saying, right?
I thought that the words would come out beta. I mean, I can't stop saying beta after hearing Jesse say it. Let's see, 109.55.
It will overreact and it'll make me afraid. And so I asked God to let me see myself. Like, what's wrong with me? I'm going to church. I volunteer at these churches. I try to help out, but I'm still afraid. I can't speak up. And he allowed me to see that I resented my mother. And I didn't know I resented my mother. I thought I loved my mother because I had that emotional love. But I know now that comes from hate. And emotional love is not real love, right? And so I saw that I resented my mother, and I cried. But it was a tears of glad that I could see what was wrong with me. And so I went.
So I want to know, does anybody know what that means? Having Emotional love versus real love. That's fucking define bartender. What does that mean? It was a woman who worked there. I said a woman who the bartender was a woman, so I understand why she personally would maybe feel offended by the word bitch. I didn't call her that, by the way. I said it to a, you know. I guess my mindset was that when you're on stage, you pretty much can say anything to the audience. But if it's the female N word, we all know how people got upset with Kramer calling the audience the N word. So, Cool Boy says, I said a black guy looked like a dolphin. A dolphin. I mean, at least you didn't say a different animal, so it's not racist. And his girlfriend punched me in the face like 3 times. Dolphin. Holy shit, man. I had way more of a right to get punched for bitch than dolphin. That dolphin's like, where the fuck? That's a creative insult, If I called a woman like a walrus or some shit, at least it would have been a creative insult. That's amazing. That's fucking great. Wow. That is pretty amazing. All right, let me jump to 11041 here. Yeah, again, I don't know how these broadcasters do it. I can't do this whole shuffling around.
Excuse me, at that time I was 38. And so my mother came to California. And so I went over to my aunt's house and thought I was sorry for resenting her because God said we forgive others, you forgive us. And on my way over there, I was shaking in my boots. I was like, oh God. I felt like I was about to face Hitler. 38 years old. I'm like, why am I so afraid of my mother? And I realized it was because I was angry at her. I had resentment. And whomever you're angry at, they control you. You're afraid of them.
Yeah.
And so I get to the house. I had to walk up 2 steps to the porch to the front of the house. And I could barely walk up the steps. I had fear. I was trembling in fear. I'm like, whoa. But I went in and I said to her, they were all sitting around in the living room laughing. You know, black women love to laugh when they get together, right? Real loud.
Yeah, Jewish women.
And they were having fun, right?
Yeah.
And so I said, hey, I want to talk to you for a minute. And Satan was telling me, oh, you're going to mess up her vacation. Ooh. Don't do that. You're going to hurt her feelings, blah, blah, blah. But I knew I had to forgive. So
do you think that, I don't know. I honestly don't know what the hell Jesse was talking about there. I was trying to get something out of that. But anyway, interesting guy says some shit that sometimes makes sense, sometimes does not make sense. But I like Jesse Lee Peterson. I like when he has people on as guests, I like when he does some different shit. I think that we could really look into this. But I think actually he did an interview actually with Buck Angel. I don't know if you ever saw this. Buck Angel was on the show. He joined JLP on the Fallen State. So I want to show you that as well. All right. Let's see. I think that was yeah. Okay. Buck Angel joined Jesse on the Fallen State, and if you don't know Buck Angel, um, Buck Angel is a female to male transgender um person. So, what'd you think of it? JLP needs to have Charleston White on. Yeezy taught you? If you hit the left and right, okay, 5 cent. Thank you. 5-second increments. How did Yeezy teach you that? Anyway, I was trying to help, I'm not famous, right? I don't even think I need to say that. But I was trying to help Opie. I think if a bunch of viewers kind of like streamed with him, he would get more relevant because he would just talking to someone like me or talking to, Cool Boy or Radio Shaman. It would add some novelty and some interesting stuff for the viewers, but he's still too proud. He still thinks he's famous Opie from like 10 years ago. So I pitched something to him. He's like, "Who are you?" I'm like, "All right, dude, stay delusional. Have your 3 viewers." Like he literally, there are times I have 11 people here. I'm not bragging about it, obviously, but sometimes he has 3 people in his chat. Okay. You can't be better than me. You can't act like you're Opie with 3,000, 30,000 live viewers or whatever, 3 million from back in the day when you're getting 3 viewers. It just doesn't work like that. You know what you seem like?
This guy's a fucking gay guy!
That's how I feel. That's right. He's losing his fucking mind with Anthony going back to radio. That's absolutely right, man. I was just trying to be cool and be friendly with him, but he's like, "Oh, who are you? You're a nobody, Okay. All right. Carry on." Man. All right, so we've got Buck Angel here. Let's check it out. Like I said, it is a transgender male to female to male, right? He didn't get into radio when he was 18. Oh yeah. yeah. I've been doing this since I was 18. Yeah. All right. So I'm going to show you the part of the interview here that got me interested to watch the whole thing. Let's go. 59. Oh, here we go.
Live as a woman. There, I said it. Knock it off.
Wait. Hold on, let's go to the beginning. This is the part that got me interested to watch the whole thing.
All that matters is if I say I'm a woman, I'm a woman. And I don't think you're going to come tell me different. Have the day you deserve. And I mean that with no respect.
Wow. So you expect people to respect you when you're actually threatening them. That was a threat. And so let me just make this clear to you. I will tell you. How about this? You're a biological male who wants to live as a woman. There, I said it. Knock it off.
All right. So we've got a trans guy calling another trans guy a biological male. When I saw that, I was like, all right, time to watch this. Let's see where it goes. He's like the JLP of the trans world. Not to be confused with Trans World Skateboarding.
With a Planet Fitness Black Card, you don't just get.
Fuck you with the ads. These fucking ads, man. Knock it off. Knock it off. The trans. Wait, they're both trans, aren't they? I'm confused. Oh, thank you, Goizer Moss. All right, let's knock it off. I wish I clipped that actually.
Thanks for having me, Jesse. I appreciate you guys reaching out.
Let's see here. All right. So when I first saw this guy on here with this voice and this like light thing, this orange light in the background, I felt like I was watching a cartoon.
Buck, thank you so much for coming on.
Thanks for having me, Jesse. I appreciate you guys reaching out.
Absolutely. What is an adult educator?
Well, so basically what, for the people who don't know out there, I'm a transsexual man. So I was born female and I transitioned to live my life as a male. So what my sex education.
He's got daddy and tranpa in the background. I didn't even notice that when I was watching it at first. Tranpa. That's pretty amazing. I don't even want to get into I don't like the term tranpa. I don't even entirely know what it means. I guess trans grandpa, but yeah, it's a little weird. All right, let's take a look here. What are we doing? Why are we circling here?
So they just talk.
This is anymore. I don't feel sitting here talking to you. Before I couldn't even talk. I was so shy and disconnected from the world. And I had a drug problem, an alcohol problem. I would take razor blades and cut my arms up, and I was a mess. I was a total mess. And so yeah, it was a mess. And we got really deep into why, like my childhood, were there things that happened? I mean, she really dug deep into maybe some kinds of trauma that I dealt with. But I really had a great childhood. I don't want it to come out that way.
Yeah, you had a great childhood. Cut your arm and getting drunk and high.
Do you love that sarcasm from Jesse? You had a great childhood, cutting your arm and getting high. Listen to
that. Were there things that happened? I mean, she really dug deep into maybe some kinds of trauma that I dealt with. But I really had a great childhood. I don't want it to come out that way.
Yeah, you had a great childhood. Cut your arm and getting drunk and high.
No, that was actually the worst part, but that wasn't my childhood. That was my mid-adult space. That was not
Why
childhood.
did you become an alcoholic and cutting yourself and all that drug? What?
Yeah, Jesse could smell it from a mile away. He's amazing. $56. There we go.
Problems.
Amazing. And so, do you still have counseling now? You say you're still in counseling, right?
Yes.
And why are you still in counseling if you're a man?
Well, it's such a nuanced question, right? Especially what you see today.
You like that question? Why are you in counseling if you are a man? It's like he's saying therapists are beta, And Buck even answers it. He's like, that's a good question. Why am I in therapy if I'm a man? Like, he actually entertains it, which is...
Ever wondered what your home looks like from space? Enter your address and get a
No,
360
I don't
degree
care what my
satellite view
home
of
looks like from space. I bet it looks like every other house where you can't see shit. All right, these ads. I gotta
Are you still in?
put down the $1 and get rid of the ad blocker. Fucking, I gotta put my money where my mouth is. All right, so let's just hear this again. Why are you in therapy if you're a man?
Oh, you say you're still in counseling, right?
Yes. Yes.
And
yes,
why are
very
you
much.
still in counseling if you're a man?
Well, it's such a nuanced question, right? Especially what you see today.
It's a nuanced question. Are you a pussy if you go to therapy? Do you have a vagina? Wait a second. You do have a vagina, so you are not a man. All right. Let's go to
That
39.
I just feel comfortable looking and feeling like a man, and most people
But
always
why are you
see
still
me.
in counseling though?
Yeah.
Why
Oh,
are
I'm in
you?
counseling. I'm in counseling because other things come along, and life in itself is difficult sometimes. And also, I'm in counseling because I also deal with a lot of hate.
So I think Jesse's asking, why are you in counseling? Because he doesn't understand why people would be going to counseling if they don't have any extreme problems. It's like asking somebody why they don't go to doctor checkups. Why are you still getting checkups if you don't have crippling disease?
I don't know if you know that. I deal with a lot of hate online from the transgender community. I get said things that just you wouldn't even believe it. And I'm a person who transitioned 31 years ago. I'm on.
All right. So being trans sounds very difficult because you get hate from the transphobic people and the trans community. Everybody hates you. And then if you're an asshole on top of that, even more people are going to hate you. So I was going to say, folks, don't go trans. This is what happens. But that's not a very pro-trans message.
Nonsensical things. I will never lie to you. I have no reason to lie to you.
So why didn't you just, instead of being a man on the outside, why not just be a heavy lesbian?
Yeah, I tried. Like I said,
welcome to the father state. I am just.
Why don't you just be a heavy lesbian? Why don't you just be a fat woman? Oh my God.
Oh.
Yes.
And so growing up as a little girl that you feel.
Okay. Doesn't he say that? Hold on. 11:54.
You just, instead of being a man on the outside, why not just be a heavy lesbian?
Yeah, I tried.
It's about weight. But this is why Jesse is and always will be the #1 interviewer. These kinds of questions.
I grew up in a household that was very much about supposed to be having respect for your parents. And so by saying F you to my mom, that took my dad. He came home from work. He did. And I got nailed. And I never did it again. I grew up in a very
You said F you to your mother?
I did. I did.
And your father punished you for that?
Yes.
Why didn't he punish your mother? Why didn't he punish your mother for making you say that?
I don't think that was the case.
Don't you love that? Jesse's thought isn't like, why did you say fuck you to your mom? His thought is, why was your mom so shitty that you had no choice but to say fuck you? That's pretty awesome. Fucking, that's how much he hates women, though. It's not awesome. It's psychotic.
If my son ever said F you to my partner or even me, all hell would break loose in this
So
house.
you would treat your son the way your father treated you when you
when it comes to certain disciplinary things, 100%.
But if you do, he go be a lesbian.
That's right. If you over discipline your son, he's going to become a lesbian. So watch out. Watch out. All those all those trans lesbians were just boys who were over disciplined.
I stopped shopping on Amazon the second I heard about.
Did you? Okay.
But you were a young parent.
Let's see.
Anybody at all for where I'm at today.
Do you believe that you become like what you hate?
I love men. What are you talking about?
No, I asked you, do you believe that you become like what you hate?
Do I become like what you hate? No, I don't believe that.
Why not?
Because I don't feel that way. So I can only answer that question for myself.
If you were not angry at your father trying to get his love and his attention, do you think you would have gotten that feeling of wanting to be like a man had you not been angry at your father?
No, I do not believe that. It took me years to come to terms with why I feel this way. And it's called gender dysphoria. It's an actual real mental disorder that a lot of people get. A lot of people who come from families that never happened have gender dysphoria is a very small disorder. It's not what you see today. All of the people who are trans are not like me.
All right. So like Jesse thinks that you want to become a man if you hate your father. But wouldn't that mean that you would want to become a woman if you hate your mother? If that's the case, then all betas are just transgender women. Think about it. Think about any beta in your life. I mean, this is Jesse's logic anyway. But don't take it from me. Take it from Jesse, the king of alphas.
What we're arguing about. You think my son at 11 understands what we're arguing about? No, but we don't do it in front of him.
And when your father would go off to work and your mother would talk to you about your father and the arguments and stuff like that, what would she say? And then explaining it to you, what would she say?
She didn't do that.
She never explained to you why they were arguing?
Nope.
Why not?
Nope.
So Jesse always makes all these assumptions with his questions. Like he just assumed that Buck's mother would describe her marriage conflicts with her child. He just assumes that every woman is going to be like, I hate my husband, because that's how his mom was. So that's how women are. And that happens a lot with certain people. They're like, all women are this way, all men are this way. And they really mean, my mom was this way, my dad was this way, you know? Simple people. Very simple folks. All right.
Versus perfect. But I think for me as a human, I wouldn't call myself perfect, and I'm always working on myself, but I would say I have a lot of peace for sure.
Do you have perfect peace?
No.
And if you're a Jew, do you believe in God?
Yeah, I believe in the universe, I would say.
And so if you believe in God, how can you believe in God and not have perfect peace?
I want to know, does anybody have perfect peace? Because if Jesse truly has perfect peace, I would have to be a disciple of Jesse. I'd have no choice but to be a disciple of Jesse. Not a disciple. That sounds too like religious. That sounds too much like Jesus. And he's not perfect enough to be Black Jesus, because I know the shit he's been up to. But I would like to have perfect peace.
And so what does it mean to be spiritual?
What does it mean to be
Have anger?
spiritual?
Space to
Thank you, Shaman, for giving me the advice to move it around. How to move this time stuff around, because it is very annoying to do. All right.
to understand and navigate the world.
Do you have anger?
You know, that's an also great question, because I used to be so angry. When you wouldn't recognize me. I don't anymore. I don't have anger. You know, anger comes up very rarely for me. You have to really push my buttons. But I worked on my anger a lot, and I really got so much better that I don't consider myself an angry person anymore.
So do you have anger?
Oh, these fucking heads. Yeah, so like Jesse, basically, if you admit to any level of anger ever, you're fucking failure.
Person anymore.
So do you have anger?
Yeah, sure.
And so you've been a Baptist, you're now becoming a Jew, and you still have anger. Why haven't you overcome your anger, period?
Well, I am.
Period. End of story. But we heard just in the last thing that Roseanne was saying, like, Jesse, you get angry at people all the time. You get angry at these lesbians. And if you become like everything you hate, then you must be a lesbian by your own logic, Jesse. Shaman says, a lot of times trans were molested as a child. Don't ask me how I know. LOL. How do you know? Anyway, interesting. So yeah, that was Jesse's opinions on trans, and that was his interview with this trans fella. I guess if you have anger, you are beta, and you have your mother's nature. Now, I also saw a video where Roseanne was on Bill Maher. Actually, not Bill Maher, the other guy who's like Bill Maher. Adam Carolla. How do we feel about Roseanne Barr? Is she amazing? I mean, she's no Jesse Lee Peterson, that's for sure. But nobody is. But he's also no Roseanne Barr. Let's pull it up.
And depression.
Yeah, it was a lot of that. And of course, my family lied to me and told me I was better than Shirley Temple. And so that set into, like, I really believed it too, because I thought, oh, they just know how fantastically gifted and talented I am. And so that was kind of.
So they were bad, but they were supportive simultaneously?
Yeah, until I was 12 and realized, oh my God, I'm not better than Shirley Temple. And it was really depressing when I found out. I was just.
So maybe she wasn't Shirley Temple, but she's one of the few people in the world who can be mentioned just by her first name, and everybody will know exactly who you're talking about. So I guess Roseanne didn't do too bad for herself.
A fat little dark girl, and I was not indeed.
Fat little dark girl. Interesting. Isn't that interesting? By the way, like women are always I almost feel like it's weird to say it. if a woman is mad at me for doing something masculine, it's like gender affirming, kind of, because they're like, oh, all men are this way, and it's like, oh, so you consider me a man? All right, I'll take that as a compliment, because you can't be a toxic male unless you are in fact a male. I feel like somebody already made that joke before, though, so I stole it. And you could put me in a compilation.
And he had all the comedy records. And also, he was, semi-violent, my dad. And he had been a football player, and so all that stuff.
It's okay. He was only semi-violent. He punches you frequently, but not that hard. Let's take a look at 9. By the way, I know this guy, and he sounds like
You think I'm chronically online every day to get?
I don't fucking know, bitch. Oops, I said bitch. That was a word that Roseanne said was a no. No, actually, she said it was a good word. Never mind. I'm gonna eat my words here. By the way, is the sound coming in okay?
Went down and did 5 minutes. Took me a year to write it.
Mm-hmm.
And I went down and I did my 5 minutes and I never quit.
How'd it go the first time?
Killed.
Really?
I killed the first time, and I was like so happy because I remember going home. I was like, fucking, I'm getting that Eddie Murphy money. I'm getting out of here. I'm getting a fucking divorce. And I'm, I had it all in my head. I'm going to make my life good. And the second time I came back, bombed like a dead dog. That happens.
Yes.
And
so she had her semi-violent husband. But I think that's pretty cool to know from the beginning that you're going to be a star. For most people, they would call it delusion, but for her, it turned out to be true.
And so then it was a long crawl back to doing as well as I did that first time. Like, they say chasing the dragon when you do heroin the first time. It was a lot like that. And that took a long time to master the 5 minutes. It was all about that 5 minutes, at first.
How was your husband with it?
Well, he helped me to write. He was funny too. And is funny too. And, he helped me to write it. And the jokes were all about our family life together, the domestic goddess thing. And my sister helped me write. And, it's just trial by error when you keep going on stage every week. And, you do basically the same thing, but you perfect it, And he was very supportive, would watch the kids when I would go down there on Monday nights. And then pretty soon I would get Monday and Wednesday night. And, it just grew.
All right. Now let me move forward here a little bit. 20 something. Yeah. So I don't know what you think about the whole Adam Carolla show.
But, it's hard when you own everything, to be fair.
You mean it's hard to cancel you when you own everything?
No, it's hard not to cancel.
I mean, when you're
someone who questions you when you own everything,
Right. You're sort of in charge of Disney and
Viacom, you're the royal we.
Right. And Madison Avenue, and you're going to call the shots because you feel empowered, because you feel like you have the machine is on your side.
Yeah, you have the imperialist right to do it because, after all, you're king. Well, and then when someone questions you, or worse yet, makes fun of you,
right,
and you have no sense of humor as king, well, it's your duty to remove the jester.
Yeah, the part that disappoints me the most about.
So that sounds a lot like Joe Rogan. You know, people don't want to piss off the king. They don't want to say, hey, you know, maybe you shouldn't wear those muscle shirts after 57 or whatever. You know, you can't call him what did Mark Norman say? A bomb expert. You can't say, oh, you should see her act. You know, all those kind of jokes. If you piss off the king, you may not end up coming back on the show.
The chapter we're living in, as I've said many times, is I don't know why.
Check this out. I'm going to show you how I afforded this car.
Yeah, listen, Tony is right. I need to get YouTube Premium to fucking get this working again. Tony, Don, you're right. I gotta it's fucking ridiculous. What the fuck are we doing here? Who's the king now? Don A is the king. I mean, you know, why not? Don Rickles used to be the king, but he passed away. Oh, get a free YouTube blocker. You're right. What the fuck am I thinking? Actually, I could do that right now. Let me just multitask.
Then that I think mainly, I always say stupid or liar. And I feel like
I agree.
I mean, you can watch CNN for 20 minutes and there'll be 35 stupid or liar moments in there. But I believe people are mostly stupid or sort of useful idiots and not really knowing what's going on. But maybe there's a handful of people at the top kind of pulling the strings.
Yeah.
But I don't think of them as...
By the way, you can't talk about people, even if you talk about people at the top pulling the strings, even if you say it that vague, people are going to think you're talking about Jews. It's just going to come back to that. Trust me. It always does.
Nefarious. I think of them as power hungry and money hungry, which ends up makes you do nefarious things. But I don't think it's evil for the sake of evil.
Well, it's not, you know, like Adam is right that people, you know, doing the bad things are morally neutral, right? But who cares if being morally neutral leads to bad outcomes? Really doesn't make a difference. And that's the bottom line. All right, I got the ad blocker. Let's hope it actually works.
Asked forgiveness, but I've forgiven everybody. They're always guilty of some shit every single time. I mean, this is my opinion and what I've seen. And people who hate Trump, it isn't very long before they get exposed for basically the stuff that Trump's against. That, you know what I mean?
Oh, well, first off, I think everything.
Huh. Okay, so that's a pretty bold claim. She's saying everyone who dislikes Trump is guilty of something bad. You know, I would like to say that about me. I would like that to be spread around. If you don't like HB, you're guilty of something really bad. I don't even want to say what it is, but you are guilty. What a crazy thing to say. Although it is Roseanne and people, you know, whatever. What, just because she got hit by a truck? No, I guess she did get hit by whatever. What was it? An ice cream truck? No, that was a different guy. That was a guy.
They're getting beat up by their women. And, you know, you would be shocked at how many men raise their hand. I go, yeah.
What? Hold on. Let's move forward here. Okay.
That people on the left have a sexual fetish for skin color.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the worst racists that you've ever wanted to meet in your life.
Oh, well, listen. I mean,
do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, listen here. Okay, I'll give you racist, and then I'll give you.
Well, Joe Biden's the biggest racist in the world. Did you just hear him call LL Cool J LL Cool Boy?
Oh no! Now we got to
hear that. She just called out Cool Boy. LL. Maybe Joe Biden is just a secret fan of Cool Boy. Could that be? Could that be what happened? LL Cool Boy.
Hourglass flip. Same techniques, but different window dressing, just like Obama. He's Bush, but he's that color that people on the left have a sexual fetish for skin color.
Mm-hmm.
And they're the worst racists that you've ever wanted to meet in your life.
Oh, well, listen. I mean,
do you see what I'm saying?
Oh, listen here. Okay, I'll give you racist, and then I'll give you.
Well, Joe Biden's the biggest racist in the world. Did you just hear him call LL Cool J LL Cool Boy?
Oh no! Now we got to find that.
Oh, he did.
But
he did. Oh, boy is a racist thing, right? I forgot. Yeah, boy. You know, but I'm not sure if she's right about the whole left wing part of her statement with, like, you know, everybody has a fetish. But I do think that racists have a fetish for skin color. You know, I've seen these guys who love to say the N-word, but all they watch is videos of black guys banging white women. I don't know. It seems like a little funny little thing going on there.
Doesn't know what he's saying, but
no, but he is a racist.
Oh, no,
hung out with you know,
Bird. Yes.
Bird.
Yes. No, listen.
Everything he says is racist and
what I'm
anti-Semitic too.
You making a racist joke about a black man, you know, being hung like a horse or having a high vertical leap or something. Maybe that's a racist joke.
No, that actually, those sound like two compliments. He picked like two of the biggest compliments, the athletic and the big dick thing. Those aren't really put downs. If you said other things, you know, that would be a little more racist. But I don't think I mean, I guess it could be racist in the sense that it sets people's expectations high and then they get disappointed.
Anymore.
Like I say, I think that I sometimes I think, and people say this, that it isn't even reality, it's just a show.
Well,
have you thought of that?
No, you look, when Bill Clinton's in power and even Obama's in,
I don't even know what she's talking about. It's a show, but sometimes I want to stop listening to Roseanne because she's crazy, but then I keep listening to her because she's crazy. She's quite a person, isn't she?
Hi,
Wait
I'm
a
Jeff.
second. My ad blocker didn't work. I'm sorry. Can we I don't understand. Let's go. All right, whatever. Maybe next time. Oh, it doesn't.
Former workers' compensation judge,
Fucking
and I used to
bullshit,
represent
bro.
insurance companies. Now I represent
life every year.
I'll figure it out next time. I promise.
Yours gets better, and then you call the other side racist.
That's exactly how it works.
Well, even if the other side is
genocide, it is a genocide, and it's like it isn't an accident; it's on purpose. And you know, they were the party of the KKK. They were and are. They were the party of Jim Crow. They opposed every civil rights thing, and for some reason, they managed to hoodwink and bamboozle us that it was the Republican Party, which was the one of Lincoln, that actually ended slavery in this country. country. They met.
All right. So, like, to say that a political party is the party that supported slavery is the same as saying that, they caused the actions from 100 years ago or hundreds of years ago, And I'm pretty sure people are against that when they say slavery was a long time ago, People always make fun of that. So I don't really see how you can say that. She's crazy in a good way. Exactly. Yeah, he didn't say watermelon or or no daddy. Exactly. Yeah, he picked the most complimentary insults you could. Yeah, it would be nice to have some more wild people out there. All right, let's see who else do we got here. So that was some Roseanne stuff. That was some Jesse Lee Peterson stuff. Let me see what else I got here. Oh, I've got more on the whole Adam Carolla, and Roseanne was actually on Bill Maher as well. I should cover that at some point, maybe. Also, but yeah, I thought I had the. I thought, what's with the Office Depot boxes? You'll never find out. You'll never find out what I keep in there. People say there's books in there, but I don't know. It could be something much more, much more transgressive, if that is the right word.
I feel like I haven't talked to you in so long.
My on-stream donation
backyard, maybe.
I smoke more pot than you do. I know the backyard, but I don't remember.
You smoke more pot than Bob Marley's rhythm section.
I do not. No, I smoke sparingly. I smoke for specific reasons, for things that I only can do better. So, fortunately, that's most of the important things in my life. But I don't smoke every day.
Yeah, listen, I mean, well, look,
Dad, I promise I won't be.
You joke about killing your wife every 10 minutes.
It's like, I always feel weird when Bill Maher needs to be clear that he doesn't smoke that often. It must be a generational thing because people these days are sucking down weed like it's oxygen. You know what I'm talking about, Russell Cook. No, I guess Russell Cook, you don't smoke anymore, do you? You know what I'm talking about, Cool Boy, right? You smoke? I don't know who smokes. Maybe Betty? Donnie? No, I bet Donnie doesn't smoke pot. He gets high on positive reinforcement. Let's see. I don't like when broadcasters are vague about stuff, like Bill Maher here.
What year do you think we met?
Well, I used to do, for sure, I used to do PI all the time, like back in the later 90s, early 2000s.
Oh, did you see? I still have the sign.
Oh, yeah.
Isn't that amazing?
Oh, yeah, that's it. That's the sign. That's the sign.
Wow.
So, yeah,
yes,
I probably met you before PI for sure.
Well, we weren't comedians together, right?
No.
We were. Where are you from? I don't know.
I'm from North Hollywood. I'm from like
so
that
you started
way.
out here.
So yeah, I don't like when broadcasters are so vague when they're talking about things. Like, what I like to do? I like to say for the universal audience, it's just they're talking about PI. Who knows PI? It's politically incorrect. It's basically if you had Tough Crowd with Colin Quinn, another show, But instead of bunch of comedians, there's half comedians and half political dorks, but nobody's gonna know you're talking about politically incorrect. They're gonna think you're talking Magnum PI or something,
Guy named Marty.
Anybody watch Politically Correct back in the day, by the way? Did anybody enjoy that show back in the 90s? It was the 90s. It was edgy to be an atheist back then. Now it's the opposite. Now it's edgy to be a Christian, basically. I mean, neither one is really edgy, but you know what I mean? Like people used to, if you said, I don't believe in God, people would be like, holy shit, really? Now, if you say, I believe in God, they're like, holy shit, you actually admitted that? And it's like, even Bill Maher back then was atheist. Now he's seemingly becoming more Catholic, Christian. I said Catholic, like that's, Anyway, let's see. Maybe I'll give a few. Maybe I'll throw out a few wrenches that are deserved. We'll find out who they are given to. Real time or PI. Politically incorrect. Or this is the Bill Maher dance party with two stiff white guys. And I don't use that. All right. Let's say. All right. We got a Knob Creek bottle right there. All right.
And he's going to take care of you. That was always my.
What now?
Remember 80 seconds ago when you said you didn't smoke pot very much?
Well, no, but Adam, what I said was I don't smoke every day.
Right. I feel bad. I feel like you ever watch like old Johnny Carson episodes and the panel smoking or a roast, like a Dean Martin roast.
I would like to watch some of those old shows back when everybody fucking watched the same thing. Now there's too much stuff on the air, But Bill Maher acts like he doesn't use weed to survive, even though he told Steve-O that he wouldn't be willing to interview him if one of the conditions was that he couldn't smoke pot. That seems like a guy who needs weed to survive. All right. So far, no ads, so I'm feeling good. Feeling good. All right. So these are two guys that can't wait to tell people to get off their lawn.
Yeah, I like one of them. Let's be honest.
That's probably better than a lot of people.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, you know what? I always said that to people. As you know, I've never had kids. So like when I talk to parents, they all say that. And they say it like I'm the only one. And I'm like, no, I'm telling you, you all sound alike. You all think you're the only one to be saying, oh, I don't know about my kids. No, you all are very iffy on your kids because kids today are impossible.
Yeah.
And then I'm sure that sounds to some people like, oh, come on, they were always impossible. No, I mean, there were always some impossible kids, but as a whole field of fucking brats.
Yes.
They are fucking.
Well, because
it's like, yes.
Well, no, I'll tell you.
Yeah. So Bill Maher is exactly the type of guy who would defend saying kids today, he really is that guy.
What it is. We used to have a hierarchy. There was a sort of a pecking order. Like, for instance, when I grew up, I was scared shitless of every one of my friends' dads.
Yes.
You would never. I was in my house. It was a year and a half ago, and one of my daughter's friends roller skated past me in my house. It came right down the hardwood floor and just like, what, you know, it's like, hey, Mr. C, just blew past me. And I was like, could you imagine roller skating inside? If I went to Mr. Vendig's house and started laced up the skates and he came home from work, he would choke me out in the living room. Like, I was scared shitless of my friend's dad.
Yes.
You couldn't touch their stuff. You have kids now. You go into the kitchen and you'll just randomly walk in the kitchen and one of your kids' friends will just be making waffles.
Right.
And you'd be like, what? Hey, Mr. C, I got my roll.
You know, and of course, kids used to be afraid of their dads. They used to beat the shit out of them. You know, you used to kick them, slap them, punch them. Maybe there should be a little middle ground between, you know, being scared of being permanently injured and letting your kids do kick flips in the kitchen. But what do I know? I'm not Bill Maher. I don't have a strip club in my basement. He has a stripper pole, for real. Now that's the kind of guy. Now that's the kind of guy I can support, right? I feel like he's Hugh Hefner, but there's no women around.
Maybe like 2 months ago, 3 months ago, something like that, the winner, a very good friend of mine, happens to be very famous, but we're not going to know who this is, go over to his house, and the, like, I think 16-year-old, it's just astounding how, first of all, just that kids will invite themselves into the adult conversation.
Right.
And that was something we never did.
No.
You had to be invited in, and usually to answer like one question.
Yeah, so basically what Bill is saying is that kids are now acknowledged as human beings with a point of view, whereas they weren't before, and he thinks that's a bad thing.
Right.
You know what? Something that they wanted to know or wanted it up.
Yes.
And I always think you fucked it up doubly because you fucked your kids up by blowing smoke up their ass, and you fucked your life up because now your life is all this, having to negotiate with a child for what restaurant you're going to go to.
Let's not forget,
that is
also,
astoundingly. I don't know why I'm so mad.
You missed a key component of it.
Listen, everybody knows the two rules: don't negotiate with children, and don't negotiate with terrorists. But I think Bill Maher is right. If you're talking about kids, there's no way he should be a parent.
I'm
No,
angry
you missed
for you.
You missed a component.
That's how fucking bad this is.
You missed the key component of this, which does affect you, which is you
app or service.
Oh, good. He's got an ad baked right into it. So I can't avoid this.
There is no good option.
I mean,
you either
let's
build
just check out what is he slinging here.
from scratch, which can take forever, or try to repurpose an existing app like Zoom, or as I like to call it, hey, you froze. But what?
Did you hear that joke? Let's hear it again. Let's hear Bill Maher's dad joke again.
There is no good option. You either build from scratch, which can take forever, or try to repurpose an existing app like Zoom, or as I like to call it, hey, you froze.
Hey, you froze. Anyway, let's move right along here.
whatever it is, live where he wants to live, California, and get some shit done for us.
How long have you been married?
I'm getting divorced.
Oh, you are?
Yeah.
Congratulations. I mean, I'm sorry.
We're welcome. It was like 18, 19 years. It was somewhere around 18 years.
What do you make of that whole thing? I mean, like just
nice recovery. I mean, Bill Maher is not joking when he said he doesn't research his guests. Yes, Adam. Oh, how long have you been married? Adam has been very clear. You know, I don't expect you guys listening to know that Adam is getting divorced, but you know, on his show, he's been very open about that. He's been talking about it for a while. So I'm sure Adam's like, oh, okay, not a listener. All right. I'm glad you had me on. Clearly, you're very interested in what I do.
Twins.
I have twins.
That's it. Just one set of twins.
That's it.
And they're 15?
Yeah.
15.
And the boy thinks, daughter, you're not in danger.
Right.
You're fine. You're healthy.
Right.
You know, she's being hit in the face.
And she
with
believes
a tsunami of
right.
And so she's telling me, if you're going to the market, wear gloves. And I'm saying that's bullshit kicked up by CNN. I don't need to do that. She's saying, what do you mean? What do you mean? You know, she's wiping down bags of Grubhub before they come down. How is she going to exercise herself from society? What are we going to do? How are we going to get her away from that? Now, my boy just kind of goes, you're the smart one in the family. I'll follow your kid.
Oh, you're that? He must prefer his boy has to be his favorite if he thinks that his dad is the smart one. Wow. Or that's just how Adam sees himself. But of course, Adam is not going to care about being infected with COVID. He's the same guy who is famously been an advocate for pissing in your kitchen sink, which, you know, if you're the only one who lives there and you don't have any guests over, who cares? It's your sink, pee in it. But this guy had children. So I think that's, very disgusting.
So how shirt boxes that had like a nice shirt in it, filled with popcorn. And Howie, and I'm sitting with my group, my podcast guys and stuff, and Howie's got the popcorn tin. He's like, yeah, popcorn. People are reaching in, he's reaching in, everything, popcorn. And I said, well, wait a minute, Howie, you're germaphobe. You got this popcorn lid. You're passing it out to everybody. Everyone's reaching in, grabbing it, and you're reaching in, grabbing it. I said, how's that make sense with all the germophobia? I don't get it. And he goes, you don't get it, Adam. I'm nuts. And I was like,
is that real?
Yeah, it's absolutely true. And I was like, I had a revelation because I was like, oh yeah, he's nuts.
So, of course, Adam Carolla is the only guy who's going to tell a germaphobe, like, you're not scared enough. But that is weird. He's like, I'm just crazy. You know, there's no logic to this shit. Now, Bill Maher, on the other hand, Bill Maher is a different breed, you know, a different type of guy.
Scoop.
That's
Scoop. Well, I'm going to shake your hand. You don't mind.
No,
because we don't believe that we can't avoid germs. We shouldn't even try.
How long are you allowed to hold another man's hand before it's gay?
Well, I'm going to shake your hand.
One Mississippi,
two because we don't believe
three
that
Mississippi,
we can't avoid
five
germs.
Mississippi,
and we shouldn't even try.
No, it's making our
yes,
system.
Exactly.
That's the famous 7-second gay handshake. And I don't even think there was any shaking involved. It was just hand holding, which, listen, there's nothing wrong with being gay, right? This is a future forward show, but that was a gay handshake.
We're hurting our system.
All right. Thank you. This was so fucking fun. And, you know,
All right. So, not only is Bill Maher not a germaphobe, he's the opposite of a germaphobe. He will grab ice with his dirty hand and put it right in his drink right after he shook your hand, right after you peed and didn't wash your hand. The only thing that would offend him would be if you mentioned to him, hey, isn't your hand dirty? I don't want any of that ice. That would upset him. But if you took a shit and didn't wash your hand and then shook his hand, he would have no problem with it. Just the type of guy he is. Unless you're in a ring fighting, no men should be touching for that long. Exactly. Wow. Yeah, it's pretty amazing. What does that mean? Talk to text? Speech to text? Okay. Exaggerating. Yeah, Rogan does get fucking wild. What's wrong with the gays? What about the AIDS? Come on. That was the 90s. Didn't Magic Johnson figure that shit out? Didn't Magic Johnson like buy pay to get AIDS fixed for everybody or something? Maybe my science is wrong. But anyway. Yeah, that was just a little bit of Bill Maher talking to Adam Carolla, one of the greatest minds of the 20th century in his own mind. Yeah. So let's see. I could do more. Maybe I'll save some of this for the next program. There's a lot of streams to cover. A lot of ones that I would like to check out. There's live streams about things that you wouldn't even imagine. There's some new ones that, you might like, you might not like, but what I do know is that the only way to find out what is happening in the world of stream is to check out this show and see what I have to say about it. And if you don't, like Roseanne said, if you don't agree with me, that means you're up to some bad shit. Didn't she say something like that? All right. So I think I am going to lead us out. Let's see. Maybe we'll cover this guy next time.
You just a dude who got his shit took.
Good old guy.
Beta.
Don't you miss that guy,
Hostbuster. 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 I tried to call him a bunch of times. I tried to call him a bunch of times. I tried to call him a bunch of times. I tried to call him a bunch of times. Hostbuster. Hostbuster.
Anyway, you get the idea. Merge. I gotta do. That was a track I was working on. I gotta do a little more cleaning up and working on that. But anyway, Mersh, the man, the myth, the bullshitter. All right. Sleepers. Ha ha ha. That's funny. And speaking of tracks, you got to check out the shit that Cool Boy is doing with the music. Good stuff, man. Next stream, I kind of, I was thinking about doing a stream with people tonight. I got to it kind of late. So once I've got my proper setup in a different place where I can do things the real way, then we'll do things that are amazing. All right. Talk to you later, guys.
Dwell on the beauty of you. Dream till the dreams are true. Silhouettes in time. Finding our reasons, finding our rhymes. We wait for answers, but life gets in the way. We try to get it right, but time still fades away. Young, but not for long. Your life plays out faster than your favorite song. Dreams, catch them while you can. The door is closing on the promised land. Be good while you have the power. Time melts away every hour. You don't know tomorrow, if it's happiness or sorrow. Young, but not for long. You won't always be this healthy. You won't always be this strong. Dreams, catch them while you can. The door ain't always open to the promised land. It's all in your thinking, though time is sinking. You have the power to be something more than free. And if you think it's too late, trust in the beauty of fate. You'll get somewhere. You'll be somebody. Young, but not for long. Better get it right before it turns out wrong. Young, but not for long. Better get it right before it turns out wrong.
All right. Thank you, folks.